Hi, my name is Sam, and I'd like to do a review of Albany Care. I've lived at Albany Care since November 2013, and I really like it here. So Albany Care is a intermediate mental health care facility in Evanston, and there are a bunch of them in Illinois, and they're for people that have mental illness who can't or are not comfortable living by themselves in the community or with friends, or they can't take their medication, or they just feel like they need or them and other people feel like they need a safer place to be living. And so I think it's really cool that Illinois has these, because I know there are other places where I don't think other states have these type of things. I know I came from Massachusetts and they didn't have it, sadly. So anyway, I came here because I was living in a place for the blind, and it was really good. They had good services for the blind, and they did cleaning and meals for us and stuff. We were in our own studio apartments, which was nice. But if you have depression and anxiety like I do, being by yourself day in and day out with nobody checking in on you is not a good idea, and things build up really quickly. And sometimes you're not going to just go out and tell someone that something's wrong because you think maybe they're not going to take you seriously, or they're just not going to want to listen to you, or they're going to make things worse. And I was dealing with self-injury stuff, and I wasn't about to tell people about that because people have a lot of stigma against it. So anyway, after I had a big crisis and got wicked suicidal, I went into the hospital, and I knew that Friedman Place wouldn't be a good fit for me anymore because they didn't have any understanding of mental illness. They had other residents with mental illness, and they would just be in this cycle of being okay, and then building up to a crisis, and then going into the hospital, and then coming back, and it would just go around, and I didn't want to be like that. So I knew of places like Albany Care from Trilogy, because I had gone to Trilogy for case management and psychosocial groups, and so I asked the social worker and the psychiatrist if I could be referred to one. And so they did. They referred me to a bunch of places, and unfortunately a lot of places wouldn't meet with me because I'm blind, and they said it was a liability or whatever. But I think they should have at least given me the courtesy of meeting with me to talk about my needs, rather than just not looking at my pack, not even talking to me. So other people's of these places, if you're watching this, yeah, I'm the girl you didn't interview. So yeah, it's your loss because you didn't get to meet me, and you didn't get to see how nice a girl I am, and beyond my blindness. So yeah, your loss. Anyway, luckily someone from Greenwood Care, which is another intermediate facility place, knew Jonathan Eastman, who's the clinical director of this place, and she talked to him, and then he talked to his people, and they said I would be good to come there. And so I was really happy. I was nervous at first because I heard from a lot of people at Trilogy, even the staff, that Albany Care wasn't very good. They said that. They were Albany Care isn't very good. My caseworker was I want you, you can go to any place except Albany Care. I was okay. So I was really nervous, but I asked the admissions person, Elizabeth, all these questions. I was do you guys have bugs in your place? Do you guys have mice? Are people abusive and all this? What I'd heard. And she was oh no, it's it's not like that. And so I came here, and it was definitely a big adjustment. At Friedman Place, we had 50 or 60 people, and each of us had our own studio apartment, so it was really quiet. And over here, there's at least 300 people, I think. I don't know how much that changed since I came here, but I know in the beginning it was 300 people, and it was just such a huge change. And the building, the hallways aren't at Friedman Place where it's big enough for people to walk down the hall with their cane and stuff. Really smaller hallways. It's really crowded. People don't know, like, people don't think to move, and sometimes they're not aware of, like, what's going on. And so, yeah, it was a huge adjustment. And, like, in the beginning, I was still wicked depressed and, like, anxious. And so, like, how it works is you go in and, like, they admit you and stuff, like, you sign a bunch of paperwork, and you get, like, asked all these questions. And then you can go up to the nurse's station, and they, like, do your blood pressure and all that. And then you get, like, put in your room, and most rooms have 3 to 4 people in the room, and you have, like, a curtain around your bed, and you get, like, 2 drawers of a dresser and, like, a quarter of a closet if you're in a 4-person room. So it's, like, not very much room for your stuff. You have to put a lot of stuff in storage. And you have a nightstand, and you can put stuff in there, and, like, they have locks for your drawers, so you can lock stuff up. And you have a key for your room. And, you know, you just go in there, and I guess they try to match roommates. Like, it's really hard because to figure out who is compatible and stuff like that, you know. They matched me in the beginning with a few, like, older people who were quieter compared to, like, other people here. And it was okay for a while. And then you get matched with a caseworker, PRC, Psychosocial Rehabilitation Services Coordinator, and they, like, do your treatment plans, your care plan, and, like, they're there to talk to. Like, some of them, it depends on, like, their, like, whole, like, outlook, personality, and, like, attitude. Like, some of them, you know, they have so many clients, they have, like, 30 clients, and so, or I think it's, like, at least, or 30 most of the time. So, like, they can't see, like, everybody every day, obviously, or I guess one person said, like, they can't see everybody, like, even once a week. So, but they try to see you, once they've gotten to know me and, like, gotten to know my issues, they know that, like, it's important to check in with me, like, at least have somebody check in with me every day. What's good is that, like, even though you have your specific PRC, all the other case managers are, like, available to you to talk to and stuff. And of course, like, there are ones that I will not talk to because they're just, like, I don't get along with them, and they don't seem, like, very open and, like, how I would want to talk to somebody. But that was actually the first caseworker that I got was like that. But luckily, what's good about Albany Care is they have a quality assurance person that is, like, responsible for stuff like if you are missing something, or, like, you have a problem with, like, your resident, like, your roommates, you have a problem, like, between staff, like, they, like, mediate and all that. The first quality assurance person was named Chris. He was the first person that, like, I met, basically. He showed me around. He, like, even knew how to, like, tell me how to walk, you know, like, almost like he was a mobility blind instructor. I was like, wow, you're really good, you know. I don't know what he's doing now, but he was so nice. And so then they also have the assistant clinical director who works under the clinical director, and they, like, do different stuff. Like, they work together on a lot of things, so they know, like, everything about all the different residents and, like, about all the different PRCs, and, like, guiding them and, like, doing meetings and, like, teaching them how to, like, do their job even more better, because a lot of PRCs, this is, like, their first job. They're, like, right out of college, and they mostly have, like, a bachelor's degree. So then you have, so, like, they do that, and then I think they also help, like, I know the assistant director, like, kind of helps with, like, room changes and stuff, because they actually do a lot of room changes, because people, like, totally, like, argue, and, like, you know, you need to move people around, because, like, sometimes they're not, like, they can't be compatible or whatever, so I guess it's really common to, like, change rooms. So I guess if you don't like your roommate, then you could just talk to somebody about it. Then you have, like, the nursing department, and so there's, like, director of nursing, and then there's, like, this other guy. I think he, like, assists her. His name's Brian. He used to, like, work as a nurse, but I don't know if he was there when I first came here. Anyway, the director of nursing is, like, above all the nurses, and then you have a nurse for each floor, and you have nursing, like, constantly. So there's, like, nursing for the day nurse, and, like, nursing for the evening nurse, and then there's, like, overnight they have a nurse. But the overnight nurse, I think there's only, like, 2 or 3 nurses for the building, and there are 6 floors, so they have to, like, switch off being on, like, a couple floors, like, throughout the night, but mostly it's like that. And so the nurse like gives medication and stuff, and like they help out with anything like medical. And like they help like call PRCs if like they see a crisis or someone's like really needs help. And then you have the CNAs, and they're like CNAs, like they're trying to help you out with like different stuff. They help people like take bath if they need it. They help people like different areas, just looking out for people, like sort of like kind of like extension of the nurses. Like the nurses can't be everywhere, and so the CNAs like go around and make sure everybody's okay, and they're like sitting someplace on the floor, like usually the day room, and just making sure everything's okay and helping out with different stuff. And like different CNAs like vary. Like I really like my favorite one is Miss Billy. I wanted her to be on here, but she doesn't want to go. She doesn't like understand the computer, and like she's older, and I don't think she understands like this. Anyway, she's really really nice, and she took a liking to me right away. And Yolanda's also really cool. I think you saw her in one of the videos. She was like dancing. She's really nice. They're both really nice. And like a lot of them unfortunately don't speak like English very well, which can be frustrating. Because then you have like people here that like hardly like listen to anyone anyways. That's like speaking English, and like they're not very aware, and then somebody tries to talk to them like with an accent, and it's really not good. The other thing CNAs do is they help in the dining room. They come down and monitor, and they serve people their food, so they have like a double job, which must be hard on them. And so yeah, like with the nurses, you have a shift from like 7 to 3, and then 3 to 11, and then 11 to 7. So beyond that is like the activities people, and like the director of it is really nice. Her name's Anne Marie. I swear she has like a degree in recreation therapy or whatever. She's really really cool. I think she's been here for the longest time. Like she runs choir, she runs all these different activities, and so I think you have an activities person for each floor that like I guess like tries to get like does stuff on the floor, and like I think leads like community meeting or something on Fridays. I don't go to that because I don't see like the point. But I'm sure it's like discussing any problems there is or whatever. So yeah, so you have them, and they do all sorts of activities. There are 7 floors. 7 used to be like a floor, but then they changed it all into an activities floor. They have an exercise room that has like bikes and weight equipment. It has a punching bag. It has a therapy ball you can sit on. I want to get like better stuff in there, like a mini trampoline and stuff, but I don't know if they're gonna let me. So that's that one, and then they have like a pool table. They have like music area. They have like all these different rooms that were like on the floor. Like I think the nurses station area is like on that floor is like the activities office area, and like they have all sorts of different groups and activities. They have like beauty group, people do their nails. They have like music group. They have in the morning they have like a morning stretch group, like current events. I don't go up there because like a lot of the people, a lot of the residents, like I don't really like them. That's what's one thing that's hard is like sometimes it's hard to relate to people that have like different mental illness than you, than like schizophrenia or something, where like their thoughts they can't like order them good, and so like it comes out all scrambled and weird. But I want to learn more about like how to connect with them, so I'll be talking to people about that. But I did get, so before I go off track, so then there's the Psychosocial Aids, which I think we have 4 of them, and they help with like going out, like they take us, like shopping and stuff. We go to like Walmart, we go to different stores and restaurants, and I think they help out with like other stuff. They help run the token store, which is this thing where you get points for like different stuff on your treatment plan, and then like you can get stuff with those points. And then I think that's all the staff. Oh, and then last but not least, the clinical director. Like he runs everything, except for he's not the administrator. The administrator is like the head of the entire place. So he's everyone's boss. But the clinical director is the boss of like all the PRCs and stuff like that. And we're really lucky because our clinical director is like the most awesome guy ever. Like I'm not just saying that. Like if he was like a jerk, I'd tell you. But he's wonderful. His name is Jonathan Eastman, and he's a social worker and licensed clinical social worker, and he's been like in the field forever. And he's like done all sorts of therapy and like worked in like group homes with like people with developmental disabilities and different things. And he like will talk with anybody, and like if anyone has any problems, like you can just talk to him and he'll probably like be able to fix it, and if not, he'll like send you to someone that will, and like he'll keep like talking to you. And that's what I really like. I mean, like he is so busy because he has to do all these meetings like with the PRCs. He has to like sometimes like his boss, the administrator, like calls him in. He has to go out of the building to do different stuff. So he's really busy, but like it's not because he doesn't care. It's because like he's really busy and he's trying to do like the best. You know, like he'll go out and personally like buy stuff for people at Target or whatever, and you know buy stuff and people can like pay him back, and like just different stuff. Like, and he's like a computer tech wizard. He took apart my whole computer and put it back together. Like, I'm not kidding, and it was awesome. And he you know, like really cares about everybody. It doesn't matter what, like if someone like screams at him, like once they calm down, he'll be like, hey, I'm sorry all that happened. Like, it's okay. You know, I understand you were having a hard time. You know, and like most people in the profession would be like, you're terrible. Like, I will not see you again if you act like that again. You know, and he's never like that. You know, he's always like willing to, you know, work out issues, you know, and, you know, it doesn't matter what someone presents like, he'll try to reach them and help them out, you know, and like he has been one of the best people here. Like, I didn't think so in the beginning. Like, I didn't know who he was. Like, I knew, like, I met him the first day, and like it was funny because I'm like, I was so worried because like all the crap I got about being blind from those other places that they were like, oh, we can't handle it. So like for the first month, I was like, on top of everything else, I was like so anxious about like them like kicking me out because I'm blind, and like trying to make everything like easiest for them around that. And so like first thing I said to him, I'm like, oh, thank you so much for like taking me because I'm blind and everything else like that. And he's like, well, I don't care. Like, the issue isn't that you're blind. Like, you know, you have all these other problems. Like, and we want you to like be safe and whatever. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of intimidating. Because I didn't realize he had read all my, well, of course I knew he read all my information, but I didn't know he was like thinking about it or whatever when he was talking to me. So yeah, but then eventually I needed like a lot of help with my self-injury stuff, and so we had to do like a care plan thing, and like my caseworker at the time, who wasn't that one I hated, it was another one who was pretty good. Like, she had been talking to him, and like I had heard like what his ideas like through her, and then one day he just like slams into the office. That's what it seemed like to me. I was like wicked anxious then, but he just came in and he was like, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. He's like, well, you need to talk to me because you need to be safe. I was like, oh my god, here we go again. You know, but I'll tell you the story later. It wasn't like what you would think. Like, it was really, really good. And so ever since then, like, we connected, and he's like my therapist, and I love it because he's one of the best therapists I've ever had. And you know, we just really get along. Like, we think the same way, like we like talk the same way practically, you know, and we have always connected, and he's helped me so much. And I'll talk about that more in another video. But so there's him, and like I said, he's like in charge of like everything. So how to review it, I would say definitely, like, I would say, and like my ratings on things are wicked objective, I would say like 7 or 8 out of 10. And the reason why I say this is, why it's not 10 is like, okay, the food is not that good, and sometimes it's really chaotic, and I don't like that in the dining room. And I don't like how the staff like joke around when we're trying to serve us, and like they'll be late because they're like zoning in the kitchen. Also on certain floors, when you're in the observation room, like I think I told you, the observation room is like on every floor. Every number 26 numbered room is in front of the nurse's station, and that's for people that need like observation. You need to be in there for like a medical reason, or like if you're like feeling unsafe, or like constantly like suicidal, or you know, whatever it is. Some people have been in there for like smoking in their room, or I don't know how that's supposed to help. They can smoke in there, but I guess it's like the doors open so they think people can like look in and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's weird, but I guess they have a purpose, and like I guess they legally need to use it. So I hated it. I was in it for like months and months. At one point I asked to be in it because I didn't want to be in my old room anymore, which was with those older women. It was just way too isolating because like no one talked to me. And it was like super hard to connect with them. But so when I was on the observation room on 3, and like I needed help with stuff, the CNAs are really nice individually, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna help you," and then they'd be like, "Oh," they end up like watching TV in the day room and just like sitting and totally wrapped up in watching TV, totally like on their cell phones. So I didn't like that. So that's part of why it's like 7 or 8 out of 10. Other reasons is there are caseworkers here that like they've been like here for like. There's one I didn't like has been here since I've been here, and like I don't understand why she's still here because I don't think she's really nice. Like I don't think that she really is like engaging with people, and I've heard like a lot of people say the same things about her, that like she's just not like open and like, you know, I don't know. And there are a few of them like that where I'm like, okay, why are you still here? And there are some CNAs like that. Like there's one really old guy that like he is just totally zoned out. Like you tell him to do something and he like barely does it. He always messes stuff up, and he just like really has stayed here like so long that I think people are just like, oh, he's a nice guy, he's so sweet, you know. Someone was like, oh yeah, he's like the family pet. It's like, well, that's nice. He's not doing his job, and of course he's on our floor. Like I wouldn't be so upset about it if he were on a different floor, but he's on our floor. And there are a couple ones that are really like loud, and I don't like that because I don't like loud people. And if I'm having an anxious time, it just like makes me worse. And yes, a lot of them aren't like in a good mood. And a lot of the thing that bothers me is like the CNAs aren't trained in like mental illness issues, and some of them don't even like understand mental illness. Like even my favorite one the other day was trying to say that like I'm not mentally ill and why am I here and I should be back at the place for the blind. And I'm like, what? So that's another reason why. And like I think that everybody should have like a double room or like their own room, because it's a lot better. You're not like crammed together. Jess and I were really lucky to get our own room, and I'll talk about that in another video. But we got our own room, and like it was a whole like treatment thing. We had to like work up to it, and we were doing really good, and you know. So I think people should have like more privacy, like, you know, their own room and stuff. But I know a lot of places don't have their own room. I've heard of like one place that has their own room, but it's like a weird place. They have no internet, so I wasn't gonna go there. So yeah, other things I wanted to review. The nurses are good. Oh, the doctors. Oh my God, this is why I'm not giving it 10 out of 10. The stupid. I don't know how this works this way, but like you don't know when your medical doctor or psychiatrist is coming in until like the night before or like the morning of them coming, and I don't know why it's so close to them. You know, I don't understand why it's like that. So like if you have stuff to do like day program, like Jess skipped day program yesterday because she thought that her doctor was coming in, her medical doctor, and it was like her first time with this doctor, plus she was getting readmitted from being in the hospital, plus like she just needed to see him, and he never came. So like you could have to cancel stuff and then they don't come, or like you don't know they were supposed to come and then you come home and they're like, oh, your doctor came, and like they didn't know, you know, you weren't there. And I mean they make this huge big deal about like you not being there. Like you need to see them every month even if you don't want to, and that's really stupid. So yeah. And also what's stupid is like some of the psychiatrists they have here are like really bad, and it took me forever to like finally switch to a new one that was good. And yeah, and the medical doctor that I had and that Jess had was really bad. He didn't even come in. I don't think I even met him like once. Once he was like out of the country and he couldn't get back in. I don't know what that was about. He's been like sick a lot. He'd send his nurse practitioners, and I guess Jess saw a good one, but I saw a really stupid one that tried to tell me I don't have eczema and all this terrible stuff. So anyway, that's like the negative stuff. Like I said, the positive stuff is definitely like being in a place where you can have like one-to-one help, and when you're not doing well, you can just go and say like, I'm not doing well, I want to talk to a PRC, or you know, they see you're not doing well and they have you sit and talk with them. Like if you are in a crisis or like suicidal, you need to talk to the doctor. You know, they call the doctor, you sit in one area. I hate monitoring, but it's like you sit in one of the people's office for like hours. But it's to make sure you're safe, you know. And if you need to go to the hospital, it's a lot better than like just going to the ER, because you get in a lot faster. Because the doctor already knows like you're coming and why, and so you just get in a lot faster. And like I said, it's really good for me. Like, I can never see myself living like alone. I mean, obviously I tried it and it didn't really work. So like this kind of environment with like other people and like staff watching out is like really good for me. And let's see, yeah, the meals, so you don't have to cook your own meals, and you know, the CNAs can help and you get your room cleaned every day. And, you know, like I said, the activities, if you're interested in activities, I guess it's good. They have like a variety of stuff. I'm just not interested in it. I would if they had like a cat or something here. That would be fun. Like animals, I'd love it. Or like a mini trampoline or like a swing and stuff like that. I really enjoy that. So that's about it for my review. I probably talked for a long time, but I really wanted to let you guys know about it, and I'd love to get comments on people that have lived in similar places and like what their thoughts are. Okay, bye.